स्वागत है आप सबका। अच्छा होने दीजिए।
Gaming is another one of those things that our parents turned out to be wrong about. It is an extremely lucrative industry where individuals are making millions of dollars every single year.
Gaming will be bigger than music, movies and TV shows all put together.
The gaming industry in India is worth about $3.5 billion as of 2024, and over 50% of India's internet users are gamers. A report by EY says that India has 568 million gamers. That is way more than the entire population of the US. Now you would think that with such a large cohort of gamers, India would definitely lead the global gaming industry in terms of revenue, right? Well, you would be wrong. As of 2023, when it comes to revenue, China has the leading market share at 25%, followed by the USA at 24% and Japan at 11%. India is actually way behind. It has a market share of just 1.1%. So how is gaming a $3.5 billion industry in India? Why does India have a market share of just 1% even though it has the largest number of mobile gamers in the world? And how are these young gamers making so much money? To find the answers, you need to understand what the gaming sector is really all about. Games are played on either of the three devices: computers, gaming consoles like PlayStation and the Xbox, and mobile phones. In most countries, gaming on computers and consoles accounts for the majority of gamers, while mobile gamers form a much smaller segment. For example, in the US, only 37% of gamers are mobile gamers. In Germany, it is 43%, and in Japan, it is 48%. China has a relatively higher share. 62% of all gamers there are mobile gamers. But India actually tops the table. 94% of all gamers in India are mobile gamers, setting it apart from all the other countries in the world. So what do you think is the reason for this extremely disproportionate number of mobile gamers in India? You see, Indians are not fans of gaming consoles. In the first 18 months after launching, the PS4 console had sold over 20 million units worldwide. But during the same time, just 50,000 units of PS4 were sold in India. That is less than 0.25% of the overall sales, a drop in the ocean. And then Indians do not care too much about computers either. In the US as well as the UK, the household computer penetration rate is very high. About 89% of households have a computer. For Japan, this is 78%, while for China, this is 55%. But for India, it is only about 11%. Roughly 90% of Indians do not have access to a computer at their homes. Only about 8% households with members aged between 5 and 24 years have both a computer and an internet connection. So the digital divide in the country is even more severe. Computers and gaming consoles are more of a luxury than a necessity, and Indians simply do not have the disposable income to afford those. But irrespective of the reason for this low penetration of gaming consoles and PCs, the fact remains that Indians do not have PCs or gaming consoles, and when they don't have them, you tell me how they would play games on them. In fact, until 2016, the case wasn't too different for mobile internet and smartphone penetration either. But all thanks to Mukesh Ambani and his free Geo data services, the entire country was connected to the internet. And in 2018, a game was launched that changed the mobile gaming industry of India forever. It was a game that became so popular that people were losing sleep and money over it. Parents were scrambling to get their kids off of it, and governments were considering banning it due to its addictive nature. And the game was none other than PUBG.
ये PUBG वाला है क्या?
PUBG was not a game. It was a phenomena that introduced Indians to the world of mobile gaming. It had a very engaging gameplay and excellent multiplayer capabilities, which helped it go viral in India. So now gaming was not just a pastime anymore. It was transformed into a potential career path. And these gamers could earn money through either of the three formats. One is by streaming their games on platforms like YouTube and Twitch. Second, they earn money from sponsorships when they promote brands in any way. And third, they earn money from esports tournaments. Esports tournaments are similar to IPL tournaments. There are teams of people who play a specific game against other teams in a competition. The winner takes a prize pool, which can often run into lakhs of rupees. For example, Battlegrounds Mobile India Series or BGIS is one of the biggest esports event in India. Its 2024 version just concluded in June, where 16 teams competed in a game of Battlegrounds Mobile. Battlegrounds Mobile is the replacement of PUBG since it was banned in India by the government. The prize pool in this esports tournament was worth 2 crore rupees. It is a mega sporting event with a huge fan following. So after 2018, esports tournaments and events were being organized all across the country, where the winners got prize pools that were worth lakhs of rupees. But PUBG was not alone. Games like Call of Duty Mobile and Clash of Clans also became a household name. And suddenly you saw everyone around you playing these games. But the real push to the gaming industry actually came in 2020, when the entire country locked down due to the pandemic. With literally nothing else to do all day, people started spending almost their entire day online. And many started using this time to play games. Now you might think that multiplayer shooting games are all the gaming industry is about, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. You see, games can be of 3 different types. The first is mid-core and hardcore games. These cater to players who seek deeper, engaging gaming experiences. They often require strategic thinking, complex gameplay, skill development, and time investment. Examples are PUBG and Clash of Clans. Then you have casual and hyper-casual games. These games are designed for a much broader audience, which means they are simpler and easier to play. These games are perfect for short, quick gaming sessions and do not require a lot of skills or time. Examples are Candy Crush, Flappy Bird, and Angry Birds. The third and final type is real money gaming or RMG games. These are games where people can bet real money and potentially win real money in return. These can include games of skill as well as games of chance, like online rummy and poker, or fantasy gaming like Dream 11 and MPL. All professional gamers and YouTubers play in the first category of mid-core or hardcore games. But as I said, this is really just the tip of the iceberg. The gaming industry in India in 2023 was worth $3.1 billion. But esports accounted for just 1.3% of the overall revenue. It is just $40 million. Now, why is that? You see, esports is a winner-take-all scenario. While the top gamers like Techno Gamerz and Scout do make crores of rupees every year, all of it does not come from esports tournaments. As I already said earlier, they earn from prize pool, sponsorships, and streaming. And streaming and sponsorships are the largest contributors to their income, not the prize pools. While esports has been becoming increasingly popular with an annual growth rate of 25%, it is still very nascent. The gamers who make crores of rupees are so few that you can count them on your fingers. And they are followed up by just about 150 gamers who have actually been able to make a successful career in gaming. They earn lakhs of rupees a year. When it comes to the total revenue of the gaming industry, esports contributes almost nothing. The third spot is actually occupied by mid-core and hardcore games, which contribute $0.4 billion or 13% of the overall gaming revenue. Next comes casual and hyper-casual gaming, with $0.7 billion or 22% of the total revenue. The king is actually real money gaming. It accounts for $2 billion or 65% of the entire gaming industry in India. And I found a separate report by EY which says that the share of real money gaming could be as high as 83% as of 2024. So apps like Dream 11 and Rummy Circle are dominating the Indian gaming industry right now. With over 300 fantasy sports platforms and an estimated 180 million users, India is the fastest growing fantasy sports market in the world. India has 3 unicorns in the fantasy gaming segment: Dream 11, Games 24/7 and MPL. Dream 11 alone did a revenue of over 6,300 crores in 2023 and it has a valuation of $8 billion. But there is one problem that is common for India, irrespective of the type of game, and that is monetization. Earning money from these games remains a challenge. Dream 11 onboarded 5.5 crore people in 2023, but the average spend per user was just Rs 63. India has 568 million gamers with a revenue of $3.1 billion, which means the revenue per user is roughly $5.45. This is in stark contrast to the US, which has 190 million gamers with a revenue of $58 billion, which means the revenue per user is over $300. While in China, it is 720 million gamers with a revenue of $66 billion, which means the revenue per user is over $90. So do you know why the monetization in India is so low? Well, that is because the Indian gamer is very reluctant to spend money on games compared to other countries. 94% of Indian gamers play on mobile. And when it comes to mobile gaming, the games are usually made on the freemium model. The freemium model means that the app is free to download and play. The developer of the game earns money by showing ads within the game and by offering in-app purchases where users can buy something within the game. In contrast, PC and console games are usually quite expensive to buy and promise a minimum investment from the customer. If you want to play a game on your computer or PS4, you first need to purchase it. And even afterward, the willingness of the Indian gamer to spend within the game in the form of in-app purchases is very low. So game developers need to rely on ads for revenue. In the US, games produce just 14% of the revenue by ads. But in India, this is almost as high as 50%. So why is it so hard to get people to spend money on games in India? Well, it's the same reason why it is so hard to make them purchase computers and gaming consoles. The disposable income in India is simply too low, and the customers are not willing to spend money. As of 2023, 60% of gamers in India are from non-metro cities, where people's disposable income is even lower than metro cities. And finally, it is the mindset of the Indians against gaming. Culturally, gaming is not taken seriously and is still considered a waste of time. And it's not just about playing games. The average Indian parent would much rather prefer that his son work in a traditional IT company than a gaming company. That is not the case in other countries. Gaming is a very respectable industry to be in, and it is for all the right reasons. Developing games is a very challenging job that requires a lot of skill and talent, whether you are involved in the creation, design, or development segment of the process. But since the gaming industry has been culturally shunned for decades, there has been no real investment of time, money, or human resources in India. This is also why, while gaming companies like Tencent from China make billions of dollars globally, there is not even a single Indian gaming company that is on the global map. The only game to achieve some success has been Ludo King, which is one of the top apps globally. But even for them, monetization remains a challenge. In 2009, there were just 15 game development studios in India, which increased to 275 by 2021. Still quite low compared to China, which has over 700 gaming studios. But thankfully, all of this has been changing in recent years. The boom in the Indian gaming sector since 2020 brought in investors' money, which in turn brought in the attention of the government. So now the government is actively pushing the development of the gaming sector. A dedicated task force for the promotion of animation, visual effects, gaming and comics, or the AVGC task force, was created to promote the industry. In 2021, Nazara Technologies became the first publicly listed gaming company in India. A report from IEIC showed that online gaming in India employed over 1 lakh people in 2023 alone, and the industry is expected to add another 2.5 lakh jobs in the next decade. I spent 2 weeks to do the research for this video. So if you made it this far, please subscribe and follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram. The link is in the description below. Until I see you in the next video, goodbye.